What is up, people? It is me, Monster58. Welcome back to another video review, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series 86 Commander Class 2-pack of Constructicon Hook, as well as Constructicon Long Haul. Two more of the Constructicons that we will need to get our new Studio Series 86 Devastator, one of three combiners that is coming out this year: Devastator, Bruticus, as well as Superion. And this week is going to be the week of the combiners, as my next review is very much going to be Studio Series, or sorry, Age of the Primes, Commander Class Silverbolt, which I have right next to me right now. But regardless, taking a look at this. Before we even get into looking at this pack as a whole, I'd like to address like a little controversy that was surrounding this, and that's whether that this pack was worth the Commander Class price point. And so when you think about it, this is how I look at it, and I'm going to say this right now. I really do think it is worth the full $90, and the reason I think that is because you're essentially getting two Voyager class figures, and then you're getting a deluxe class, an average deluxe class's worth of accessories in terms of how big it is, how much plastic there is. You're getting that much worth. And so if you add that all up, what? It's about like 30 to 35 bucks each for a Voyager. That's about 60 to 70 bucks, 60 on the low end, 70 on the high end. And then you add in about 20 or 25 bucks or so for an average deluxe size figure, which you get in accessories, and you're looking at about $95. And this thing will, after tax shipping, retail for about 100 something, right? Depending on, taxes and, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, when it comes to this, I really do think it is worth that. Now, I totally understand still from that perspective, like in terms of engineering, other things like that. I totally understand if you don't think it is worth the Commander Class price point, but honestly, in my opinion, I do think it is worth that Commander Class price point given everything that you get here. The one mistake that the Combiner Wars Devastator, I think, had, besides a lot of other mistakes that it had, the big one regarding this 2-pack, it's the fact that they tried to stuff everything into Long Haul, particularly the bottom part of his upper torso as well as the top part of Devastator's legs. And so when it comes to that, they didn't do that, and they just instead added a bunch of accessories, and because of that, it ended up making Long Haul a really terrible figure individually. And so when we're looking at this, we'll address that when I talk about Long Haul as a whole. But regardless, I wanted to talk about that because I know that was a discussion floating around the community, whether this was worth that price point. But without further ado, let's just get into it. So, you can see the nice Transformers Studio Series. You can see Transformers the movie, Constructicon Hook, Constructicon Long Haul. You can see the nice 3 out of 5 here. Obviously, that there's technically 4 out of 5 because we also have Scrapper, we have Bone Crusher, and then we have these two. 19 steps here. You see some nice artwork here of both Long Haul and Hook in their vehicle modes. See some nice artwork here of Devastator himself. 3 out of 5 collect to combine. And then you have your obligatory product shot. So overall, when it comes to the box, I think that they usually kill it. And I think that this box is really, really well done. And it looks really, really cool. Now, before we get into the review, last thing I'd like to talk about is how this review is going to be laid out. Because we have 2 figures here. And obviously, they also have a combined mode, which I will end up showing. So, the way this review is going to go is we are going to look at each of their individual vehicle modes. Then we are going to do the size comparisons with both of them in their vehicle modes. I will then do each of their individual transformations. From the individual transformations, we will go to each of their individual bot modes. Then we would do the size comparisons with both of them in the shot so that you can see the size comparisons with them in the other Transformers, which, by the way, there's going to be a fair amount of those just due to the fact that this is a significant 2-pack considering it's going to complete our Studio Series 86 Devastator or help to complete that. And then after we do their individual bot modes, we're going to do, and the size comparisons, we're going to do their articulation. Then from their articulation, we're going to show off the brick accessories that you get, essentially the trailer that Long Haul comes with in detail. And then after that, we are going to transform them back into their vehicle modes, each individually, and I'll show those off. And then we will combine them into their Devastator combined mode. Now, I will not be attaching Bone Crusher and Scrapper to it, because I want to show what this 2-pack strictly gives you. And then there's a ton of reviews online that have already showed the combined mode with Scrapper and Bone Crusher attached. I will not be doing that. I will be saving that for my review of actual Devastator when we get Mixmaster as well as Scavenger later this year. So, I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. I just want to show what strictly this 2-pack comes with, and that's just essentially, like I said, the upper chest of Devastator, the lower part of Devastator's torso, and then the waist plus the top of the legs. So that's what he comes with. And so, without further ado, folks, alrighty, folks, here we have the Transformers Studio Series 86 Commander Class 2-pack Hook out of the box and in his vehicle mode, and I gotta say, guys, this looks really, really awesome. The only issue I have, there's only two actually I have with this vehicle mode, is that there's a big purple brick in the middle of the crane, and then also this part of his back is kind of loose on my copy. And I know this is the same across all copies or other people's copies, but for me, this doesn't exactly like to tab in very well, and that does suck. But the reason that there is a purple brick in the middle of his vehicle mode is just due to the fact that this is Devastator's head. If you guys know, or if you guys have seen most of the Devastator combiners, when it comes to the upper, chest part, the shoulders of Devastator, this is what Hook is, and he also obviously contains the head of Devastator. And so, although that this is there, it is a little obtrusive, but it's not so obtrusive to the vehicle mode to the point where it makes it look really bad. It's just there, it's present, it is an eyesore, but it's not that bad of an eyesore. Honestly, even though I'm saying it is an issue I have with the vehicle mode, it's not that bad at all. And same thing for this, even though it's like this, it's really not that bad. Of course, I wish it would snap in a lot better, but what are you going to do, right? But taking a look, you can see the very nice detail across the board, the very nice green plus the purple for all of these windows and these bits here for the crane part as well. Nice detail here on the front of the vehicle mode. You can see the very nice painted headlights in silver there. More nice molded in detail across the board. And you can see each of the wheels also has the dark gray for the tires and the silver for the wheels. And since this is pinned on, all the wheels are pinned on, this guy rolls real well. And in addition, you can store his gun here on this peg here. So you have a little peg hole right there, and you have a peg right there. Taking a look at the gun here, you can see it does look really, really nice. It's nothing crazy, but, at the end of the day, it is accurate to how it was in the original cartoon. Nice dark gray, nice molded in detail. Overall, nothing crazy, but again, yeah, you can see that little peg hole there, and then you can just attach it like so. But overall, when it comes to this vehicle mode, it looks really solid. And like I've said in the Scrapper and the Bone Crusher review, I really like these new Constructicons in terms of the green that they went with. And in addition to that, the plastic quality. These guys individually are just so infinitely better than the Combiner Wars Devastator individual figures. Like, all those individual figures are honestly really terrible. And Hook was probably not one of my favorites. I distinctly remember, like, unboxing it. I know I mentioned this in previous videos, but still, I want to point that out, that the plastic quality, these guys feel denser, they feel better, their joints feel much better as well. So overall, when it comes to Hook's vehicle mode, he does look real good, and I'm very happy with it. Even on the bottom, he's pretty clean. Sure, you can see his head right there. Overall, it still looks great. And then for the crane, the articulation is pretty simple, very much like a regular tank barrel. So you have, it's on a 5mm, so you can't absolutely remove it, and then you can put something there if you want, but obviously that looks weird. But you can do the nice full 360 here. You can go up and down, like, fair bit like that, and then you can also extend this part of the crane, and then the hook part of the crane also works as well. One thing I also didn't show, Decepticon logo is also right there, and it's nice, kind of hard to see, but it's nice. It's also outlined in like silver, so I don't know how well you can see that, but kind of the best I can show it right there. But yeah, overall, when it comes to Hook's vehicle mode, I have nothing major to complain about, really, besides the brick as well as this. It's a really solid vehicle mode, gets the job done, rolls real well, details very nice. Alrighty, folks, moving on from Hook, we have Long Haul with his big trailer full of the deluxe class worth amount of stuff that I said you get. So, as you can see, it's bigger than him, and I would consider him like a Voyager class figure, honestly. And so, when we're taking a look at this, it's huge, and the way you attach it is very simple. So, you split the back here, and you'll notice that there are two holes on either side of this, and then on the hitch here, you have two pegs right here on either side of the hitch, and all you have to do is split the legs, and that came off, but split the legs, and then you just put the pegs in those holes, and then you're good to go. Now, this will just attach like this. But overall, when it comes to this, it is cool how Long Haul has a trailer, even though, dump trucks don't necessarily always have trailers behind them. But it's cool that this is how they incorporated it. But as I said earlier in the review, what we're going to do is we are going to take a look at this in detail later. So we're going to set this off to the side for now because we're not going to deal with it. But taking a look at Long Haul here, you can see he's a very, very cool looking dump truck mode. The only major issue, there's only, again, two major issues I have with this dump truck mode. Main thing, first off, is the fact that the dump truck, Jesus, I can't talk today. The dump truck actual bin part here doesn't have any depth to it. You can't actually use it as a dump truck bin because there's no depth to it. At the end of the day, there's people who are going to complain about that. I totally understand it, but from the perspective of, like, just thinking about this as a figure and how it looks in robot mode and everything like that, I'm not that mad about it. Sure, it sucks, but you do get some nice molded in detail here, with the red and the purple here, and across the board, really nicely done Decepticon logo here, and nice silver paint the headlights as well. Nice black here. And even if you fold this part out, part of the transformation, you see some unnecessary engine detail in silver there, but that's amazing. The other issue I have is just primarily just how the back looks. It kind of looks anorexic. It's not bad at all, but it certainly could have been a little more filled in, but overall, I'm not too mad about it. But those are the main issues I have with the vehicle mode, but just like Hook, they're not so bad at all. They're honestly they're nitpicks, and they do have some depth to their, you know, my reasonings to why I have issues with them. But honestly, they're not deal breakers or anything like that. It's not that bad at all. Because when you're looking at the rest of this thing, like I said, you can see it's a very nice all across the board. Purple for the windows, Decepticon logo, silver for the headlights, dark gray for the tires, silver for the wheels, and since they're pinned on, this guy rolls real well as well. 5mm ports on each side, and on this side, you can see I put his gun. His gun looks real nice, very similar to Hook's in the sense that it's very nicely detailed. Nothing crazy, but it's accurate to how it was in the show. The nice green here, that's different from all the other guns we've gotten so far. Bone Crushers, Scrappers, and Hooks have all had like just this dark gray, but meanwhile Long Haul has this unique look, which I really do like. And I do also like how you do have these bits of gray here. You know, this really dark gray, because that helps break up all of this green, you know, even with the red and the purple up here, helps break up that green. So overall, when it comes to a vehicle mode perspective, I do think Long Haul also looks really, really good. Both of these vehicle modes from both Hook and Long Haul are honestly really, really solid, and I don't think there's anything major to complain about besides the couple of small issues each with them that I've listed thus far. And so what we are going to do is we are going to do our size comparison. So we are going to set Long Haul off to the side here. We're going to bring in Hook, and then we're going to bring in a lot of characters. So get ready for this because, like I said, significant 2-pack. I want to show this guy off, these guys off with pretty much a lot of major characters, or at least a lot of characters that are relevant here. Alrighty, folks, and here they are with the Transformers Legacy United Deluxe Class Infernac Universe Magnus. Yeah, I switched up Hook. I just realized I should probably put Hook off to the side like that and make it more like this so that you can get a more accurate size comparison. But when we're looking at these guys, you can see that they are bigger than the average Deluxe. There's more density in them. They feel heavier. Sure, the engineering maybe isn't necessarily a Voyager class level, but they didn't really need to necessarily change it all that much. And so, since this is my de facto comparison, had to bring in Magnus here. You can see that they are significantly sort of chunkier, bigger than an average Deluxe size figure. Next, funnily enough, here they are with the Transformers Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime, and yeah, I'm actually going to start using this guy as well for a de facto comparison, because I keep forgetting he's on my desk, and I keep forgetting to use him in those comparisons. But yeah, you can see, obviously, this is going to be a bit smaller, as we're going to see with Commander Class Prime, but overall, I wanted to bring this guy in, so if you guys have the Earthrise Prime, if you haven't been able to get the Commander Class one, you guys have an idea of how big this guy is going to be in comparison to that, because this Optimus Prime, despite the fact that it has been overshadowed by the Commander Class one, is still an amazing Optimus Prime. Do not get that twisted. This is still an amazing figure. All right, here he is with the Transformers Siege Deluxe Class Sideswipe, the Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Bumblebee, Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Slingshot, Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Air Raid, Leader Class Siege Astrotrain, Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Bombshell, Commander Class Age of the Primes Silverbolt, Studio Series 86 Commander Class Optimus Prime, Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Bone Crusher, and finally with their leader, Studio Series 86 Voyager Class Scrapper. Alrighty guys, and it's time to get into transformations. So when we're taking a look at transformations here, they're both very, very simple. These guys are not in any way have any sort of crazy engineering, which makes their transformation simple and easy and also pretty fun. But again, there's nothing crazy about them, so don't expect like a cool, complex transformation. They're very simple. So first thing I like to do, take the gun and remove it for Hook. Then you can take the crane and you can extend it up just to get it out of the way. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to flare, will essentially be the mud flaps back, and then you will raise this up and untab it. And then you will accordion this forward, and you'll notice here there are two sort of hook tabs right there and right there. Right there and right there. And then what you'll see is that there are holes here, and then you just got to extend them and then snap those into place like so. Then what you're going to want to do is come down here onto the bottom of Hook. You're going to want to spread the arms out, and you can sort of push them down here. Then you want to take each of the feet, fold these down. Then from here, you're going to want to lift them up like so. Lift up the feet from what will become the shins. Then you're going to take this whole section here, you're going to accordion it down. Now this section for me was pretty stiff when I first got it out of the box, so After every time I've transformed it so far, it's gotten a tad bit looser each time, but not super loose. But just make sure you transform it a few times and you'll get it. So accordion these down, and then you can sort of push them forward a bit. I'm going to keep them tapped together. And then you can fold the shins down where the feet will go, and then you can put the feet down as well. Then you can split them like so. Then we are going to probably raise the camera just a little bit here. So, very simply, you're going to untab the arms or the forearms from the rest of the arms. Take the crane part, you're going to fold this down, and then you can extend this out just a little bit, just so you give him a little more stability. Then fold these down on top of his shoulders. And, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Studio Series Commander 86 Commander Class 2-pack Hook in his really, really cool looking robot mode. Alrighty, and now since we've gotten away from Hook, we're going to get into Long Haul's transformation. So when we're taking a look at Long Haul, a Long Haul also, like I said, very simple, nothing crazy. A little bit more complex than Hook's transformation, but nothing absolutely engineering masterpiece insane. So we're going to remove the gun here, just like Hook's. We're going to set that off to the side. What you're going to want to do is take this entire section, you're going to want to fold it back, rotate it all the way around, and then what you notice is that there are two tabs here, and then there are tab holes on the inside of what will become the top of the legs or the thighs. Then you just want to snap those right into place. You can split those apart, and then come down here to the heels, and then you will fold both of these out like so. Like that. Fold that out like so. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take this section, you're going to want to sort of split these arms from here and rotate them upwards like so. Then you want to come back here. We're going to raise this up just a little bit, very similar with Hook, just so we can get this transformation more in line. Now what you're going to do is you're going to fold this up, and then you want to fold this down and get this out of the way. And then what you want to do is also, there are two tabs here, there are two tab holes right there. You just want to fold this in like so. Then you're going to want to unfold what will become, what is the engine. And well, I guess we'll raise it up a bit more. So you can see here, this is folded like this. You can fold this, and then you can fold this entire section down, and then you essentially just push it a bit more down, and it'll snap right into place. Then the head should push out on its own, and then you can just fold the chest like so. Rotate the arms down like so. And then what you'll notice is that as you rotate this around, like so, there will essentially be a tab hole there, and then a tab there. You want to rotate it like so. Then you can rotate this down, fold the fist out like so. Same thing here, so you can fold this down, snap that into place, rotate this down, fold the fist out. And then take this entire back section, you can just compress that like so, so that sits very flush alongside Long Haul's back. Make sure the head is in a good position here. The last thing we have to do is to take his knees and break them a little bit, so that he's not standing super, super straight like that. And here we have the Transformers Studio Series 86 Commander Class 2-pack of Constructicon Long Haul in his really cool looking robot mode. And so guys, first things first, let's take a look at Hook, since we obviously did Hook first. We're going to take a look. You can see his gun has a 5mm port here. You can plug it into his gun. But overall, when it comes to the details of this guy looks really, really solid. Sure, the crane is obtrusive on the back, and it's a large backpack, but it is nice to have the extra stability. The issue I have with Hook is primarily the way his arms look. Because Hook's vehicle mode has always needed 6 wheels, and because, especially in vehicle mode, they have to be functional, in the show you can compress them a bit more so that his arms are a little bit more proportional, but because of that, when you're looking at it from like a real world toy perspective, it's really hard to make them look proportional, like at least relatively. And so what happens is his arms look a little too long, right? They look just a little too long because he has 2 sets of wheels on on his arms. And so even though that's the case, his arms do look a little, misproportioned just because of that fact. But that's my only, I guess, major complaint besides the actual backpack. And sure, the shoulders are a little bit wonky, but this is how he looks, and he looks really, really solid. Like, taking a look at the details here, you can see that head sculpt is really, really awesome. Looks really good with the red visor, the silver for the face, and then the black looks really, really awesome. The detail coming down here, you can see the nice Decepticon logo. Sure, it's a little bit hard to see, but it still looks good. Nice detail here in the chest, and then you can see going down here to the abs and the crotch. Those look real nice. Some nice detail here on what will be on the thighs. Nice detail here on the arms as well. Nothing crazy, but enough. And then you can see some very nice detail here on the silver on his feet. And sure, if I'm not mistaken, this part of his vehicle mode should be on his other leg, but I don't really care. I think he looks good regardless. Again, my only major issues really would be the way the shoulders are. It it excuse me, restricts some articulation. The crane does look a bit obtrusive, but it does help with stability, and then the proportions of the arms look a bit long, but that's just because it's function over what the cartoon was able to show. So overall, even though I don't think like in no way does this guy look bad, he has a small amount of issues, but I still think he's a really solid robot mode. Alrighty guys, it's time to look at Chunky Boy Long Haul. Long Haul looks really, really good. Sure, he isn't as skinny as he probably maybe the animation would have shown him, but he's a dump truck for Christ's sake. When we're looking at him, and you're trying to function, make this functional, of course he's going to be chunky, and I'm not mad about that at all. I think he looks great. The head sculpt is really that standout for me. It looks fantastic. I mean, that looks awesome. The silver and the gray, the red for the visor, that looks awesome. You can also see same thing, 5mm. You can just plug this in. He looks good with it. Nothing to complain about there. Nice Decepticon logo here on the chest. Nice silver painted headlights. More nice detail here coming down into the crotch section, into the legs as well. All this, this red and this purple helps break up all this green. Nice for the arms as well. You can see some nice molded in detail here on the side as well on the arms. Overall, and also this guy's very clean. Sure, the wheels stick out a little bit, but the backpack is really nice. This guy feels really solid, feels really robust. Overall, when it comes to Long Haul, despite him being chunky, maybe a little too chunky for some people, I am not mad about that. I think he looks really, really good. This is probably the best Long Haul from G1 that we've gotten in a very, very long time. And so guys, just like I said, what we are going to do is we're going to do our size comparison. So what we're going to do is the figures here have a wide range of sizes. So we're going to pull the camera back here a bit, and we're going to do something like this. Extend the camera up, and we are going to do our size comparisons from probably this angle. We'll move Long Haul a little more off to the side here, and then we'll put Hook right here. And we'll put the comparison figure in the center here. And so, we're going to set both Long Haul and Hook off to the sides here. Transformers Legacy United Deluxe Class Infernac Universe Magnus. Transformers Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. Deluxe Class Siege Sideswipe. Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Bumblebee. Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Slingshot. Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Air Raid. Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Bombshell. Age of the Primes Commander Class Silverbolt. Studio Series 86 Commander Class Optimus Prime. Transformers Siege Leader Class Astro Train. Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Bone Crusher. And finally, Studio Series 86 Voyager Class Scrapper. Alrighty folks, now it's time to get into the articulation for Hook. So when it comes to Hook, he's a little bit inhibited and restricted, as I mentioned in the looking at the details and stuff like that, and that's mainly due to sort of the crane as well as the way that the shoulders are designed. And so head is on a ball joint, and it can look up and down about that much, but you can't really look side to you can look side to side, but you can't really do a full 360 even when lifting the shoulders up, unless you were to push the back out, but you can't really do that either. But for the shoulders, you can go out, you can go in, full 360, almost full 360, actually you can do full 360, you just have to push it that way. Rotation of the upper part of the bicep, and then you have more than 90 at the elbow, no wrist articulation. The issue I have too is there's no waist, but for Hook, I understand, because there's a joint in here, there's a ratchet joint right in here, so I totally understand why this guy doesn't have it. But I'll tell you, Long Haul doesn't have it, and it doesn't make sense to me. But from there, legs can kick forward, they can kick back about that far. A little less than 90 at the knee, rotation of the upper part of the thigh, and then you have ankle rocker. So this guy can pose okay, just fine. It's nothing insanely terrible, but it's nothing insanely good either. The lack of a waist joint does suck, but at the same time, I do understand why this guy doesn't have it, because of the combined mode. Alrighty, it's time for Long Haul's articulation. So for Long Haul, his head is not on the ball joint, it's on the swivel, but you do have a little, actually it is on ball joint, sorry. You have an up and down here, not really, you have a decent down, not much up. You can do full 360 with Long Haul's head, which is nice. Full 360 at the shoulders, you can go out, you can go in. You have a ball joint at the elbow, so you have 90 degrees bend there, and then you have rotation as well. For the waist, no waist, and I don't get it, because there's no joint in here that's inhibiting the waist. I'm not a toy designer. Maybe there's something, but like, I don't see anything that would ruin a waist joint, or that would warrant not having a waist joint here. So that does blow. But legs kick forward, they kick back as well. A little less than 90 at the knee, rotation of the upper part of the thigh, and then you have some wicked ankle rocker pivot on this guy. So this guy, in my opinion, funnily enough, can pose a bit better than Hook, despite also being just much chunkier than he is too. So Kind of funny, but at the end of the day, he is more articulated than Hook. Again, both of their lack of voice joints really suck. Hook, I understand. Long Haul, I don't. But they just pose fine. Their articulation, both of them, is just fine. Alrighty, folks, it's time to get into the reverse transformations, and the first reverse transformation is going to be Hook. So, Hook, pretty simple. So, we're going to remove the gun here. We are going to come down here to the legs and straighten them out, and we are just going to plug them both together. Then we are going to remove the shins from there, rotate these up, and then peg the feet in as well. Then from here, you can just peg the feet in. You can see that there are going to be 2 tabs right here, and that there are 2 tab holes on the top of the feet. You can plug those in very simply like this. Then you want to tab the arm or the forearms back in. I'm going to raise this up on both sides. Then you can take the head, straighten that out. Then you can collapse this. And what you'll notice is that there is a tab hole right there, and that there are tabs right there on his arms. And then you just got to plug those in like so on either side, like that. And then you can take this whole section, and then you can, what I like to do too here, raise this up. Then you can accordion this forward. Push this down, push everything down, make sure everything is snapped into place. Then very simply here, take this, accordion this out, accordion this down like so, push this down, and then just fold these down. Take the gun, and then obviously we can just plug that in right here. And very easily, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Studio Series 86 Commander Class 2-pack Constructicon Hook back in his crane mode. Alrighty, and next is Long Haul's reverse transformation. So we're going to remove the gun, then we're going to come down here to the legs. We are going to snap these knees back into place, fold the heels in, snap this all back into place, take this section, fold it out. Then you're going to want to fold this up like so, rotate this, untab it, and rotate it all the way around like so. Then you want to take this section, fold it up. Then you can take this, then fold that up, and then snap that right into place. What you'll see, there are 2 tab holes on like either side of this, and then there are these 2 tabs on either side here, and then you just gotta push those in like so, and then push those in, put that down like so. Then what you want to do, fold the fists in. You're going to want to take the arms, you're going to untab them, rotate these down in like so, and then what you'll notice is that there are 2 tabs, both on either side. Right there, those purple ones. You want to rotate them around like so after you've untabbed it, and then you'll notice that there is a tab hole right here, and you just want to plug that in like so. Like so. Do the same thing here. Push this in, untab this, and rotate it around like so, and then just tab that into place. Take this section, then you can fold this back in. Then take this section and break the tops of the thighs, then rotate this all the way around, and then you'll notice there are 2 tabs right here, one there, and then you just have to sort of tab everything together here, and then we'll take the gun, just place it right here. And so, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Studio Series 86 Commander Class 2-pack Constructicon Long Haul back in his dump truck mode. And so guys, like I told you from there, next we're going to take a look at the accessories that this comes with, and this comes with this giant brick here. So this brick, the trailer that attaches to Long Haul, is very, very heavy. It's very nice. You can see some very nice molded in detail across the board, all the way around. Even here on the bottom, you can see the nice wheels, very similar to Long Haul's, well, exactly the same, pinned on, so it also rolls really, really well. Very nice detail back here. So all the accessories that this comes with. So first things first, we're going to do the chest. So the chest for Devastator comes here, and these just peg on like so. So each of these side pieces has this little peg hole right here, and then there are pegs on either side, and then you just peg them on like so. Like that, on either side. And then this middle chest piece, which looks really good, by the way, you can see the very nice Decepticon logo, nice purple molded in detail, looks really, really good all around. You come down here to the bottom. What I like to do is this will be part of the transformation, so I like to lift this up, and then you plug it in with these 2 bits of it facing the back wheels, and then you can just plug this in like so. Then I have to rotate that back down. Just makes it easier to place that in as I've been transforming it. So that's how you store all that stuff. And then what you see on the top here is these are his fists. So his fists actually have tabs on the tops of them that you can rotate, so we could rotate these down, and then you can see some 5mm ports here on the top of the trailer bit here. And then to transform this is very simple. You just rotate them out, and then you can see the hands also look really, really solid. You can see they have nice articulation here. Nothing in the thumb, but you can see the full 4-finger articulation. This is where you obviously plug in Devastator's gun, the gun that came with a scrapper. So overall, these do look really, really solid. You can just rotate these around like so. And to transform them back, all you have to do do is just rotate them like this, and then you can see there's a peg in there, so this will sort of peg everything into place like that. But overall, comes to the other accessories here, these look pretty solid, and I just dropped the frickin' Mr. Drops a lot today. But yeah, hands look really solid, nothing crazy. And then the chest piece. To do the chest piece, what we're going to do is you take this section, and you can see there's a tab right there and a tab hole right there. Very simply, just got to peg those into place on either side. So again, same on the other side as we did the first, and here is his chest piece. So this is already transformed, and this is technically part of the transformation already, so we're just going to set this off to the side here. And since we have this bit, we're actually going to do this bit first and transform it. So this is going to get into the Devastator territory. So this is what this set comes with. So to transform this into prepping for Devastator, very simply, all you got to do is take this section here. You got to fold these sections up like so. Then you want to grab the hitch, and then you lift this up, lift this all the way around and accordion it like so, and then you can fold this down. Then it's a series of folds, so fold it once, fold this once, then fold this again, and then you can fold it back like so. And then what I like to do is collapse this bit here like so, so you get it out of the way. Then you want to untab what will become his waist here. Then you want to rotate these all the way down on these very tight ratchets here, and then you want to fold these back down. And this is all we have for now currently with his waist. So this is the top of his legs, and these are his thighs. This is his waist here. So with this all out of the way, what we're going to do is we are going to set this off to the side, and we are going to bring in Hook. Alrighty, to get Hook prepped for his combined mode, very simply. Well, it's not super simple, but we're going to remove the gun, and then what we're going to do here is we're going to accordion this up, and then what you want to do is take both of these fists and sort of rotate them down. And then what you want to do is you want to take the head section, and you want to, I like to do this, lift this up and around like so, and then you can break this bit and just pull it apart and then sort of rotate it around. And what you're going to notice is that there is a tab right here and there's a tab hole right here. What you want to do is accordion this all the way around, and you want to do your best to tab these into place. Tab these bits into place like so. And from here, what you can also do, I forgot to do this step, sorry about that. You take this section and you it's initially like this, and then what you want to do is take this section and you want to pull it out like so. Then you can fold this down, and then from here what I like to do is you take this fist, you collapse it like so, but then you fold the fist in. On this side you fold it like so, and then you fold the fist in like so, so that this tab is exposed, and that'll become important later. Then what you notice is that there are two tabs here that will plug into two holes here where his head will be. You want to do this, fold this down, and then this takes a little bit of pushing. There you go. Get that. You rotate this around, take the headpiece to get it, fold it up like so, fold the faceplate out like so, and then fold this down like so. And then you have Devastator's head, which looks really good, by the way. And the last step is very simple. So you'll see on the side here, it's been kind of flaring out during the review, but you want to fold this out, snap that into place like so. Then on this side, there's another one. You have to fold out the cockpit of the crane, fold this out like so. Then you can fold this back down like so. That'll snap right into place, and you have Hook almost fully prepared. Sorry, you have to take what you see, this little tab section here on the chest. You fold this out, and this will become a locking mechanism when we actually attach this to long haul. So this is how you prepare Hook for Devastator. And so with that all out of the way, we are going to get this guy out of the way, and we are going to bring in long haul. Alrighty, long haul's a bit weirder. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the gun. Obviously, we're going to set this guy off to the side as well. And then what you want to do is unpeg the legs and rotate them all the way around. And then from here, what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to untab the arms here, and you're going to take this part of the dump truck, and you're going to fold it down, and then this will tab into these holes right here like so, and then you want to tab them in like so once again. Then this is a bit funky. So what you'll notice is on the arms you have tab holes there, so you want to extend these out and you want to rotate them down sort of like you're transforming him. And then what you'll see is when you rotate the forearm around, there is a hole right here, and then these will peg here. This peg will go into this hole right here, and then what you'll notice is that there's another peg hole right here in the green. And then what you want to do is you see this tab right here, you want to put this tab into there. So the way you do this, extend this out like so, rotate this up like this, and then peg the forearm into that little peg here, and then take this part, and then you want to peg that in like so, so that this little tab here is facing the top. So same thing on this side. I know it's weird, but you'll see what I mean. Rotate this out, rotate this down, take this section and rotate it all the way around so that this part's facing it. Then tab the two black pegs together the black peg in the black peg hole, the gray, sorry, the gray. I know it's gray. And then you want to tab that into the green section there so that he looks like this. Then from here, it's very simple. You want to push this all the way down and then rotate this all the way around. And what you want to do is you take the heels and you want to fold these out, and then these will tab into these sections here like so. And this will essentially lock this entire part into place. And then once you've snapped everything together, this is how you transform Long Haul. And now, with Long Haul out of the way, I will show you how to put everything together. Alright, so with Long Haul still here, what we're going to do is we're going to grab this waist section here, and then we're going to bring this in. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring the camera back a little bit, and we're going to raise this up because this is relatively large. So want to do this and just give you guys more room to see it. So what you'll see is that there's a bunch of rivets and divots here in this section, and then what you'll notice here on the bottom is it fits perfectly into this little section here where his head is. And so you want to take the front, this is the front with the purple arrow here, and you want to do your best, and it's kind of hard, but I like to do it sort of from the front and then down because this section likes to snap off and like do this all the time. So I like to try and go from the front here, and just, yeah, you can see it's breaking apart. There we go, and we got it. Okay, and then this will just nicely go into place like this. Then what you're going to want to do, you see these hook sections here on the back of the dump truck? These will actually go and snap into these two little bits here. So you want to take this and you want to sort of push it down like this and then push it up. And now snap right into place like so. And this is the sort of the bottom half of Devastator. And then we're going to extend this back out a bit more because this is going to get rather large. And extend this up. And then to attach hook. This is sort of the trickiest bit, I guess. So this little hook piece will go into this hole here, and then this piece will peg into this little hole right here on the bottom of hook. And then what you notice is, you remember I mentioned these tabs here? These tabs will individually go onto this hole, I believe, right here, and I believe, where's the other? There's another hole. Oh, and this hole right here, this little divot right here, this hole and this hole, those both will go into those tabs right there. And then from there, this little tab will go into this section right here. So what I like to do is you go for the purple one first, because that kind of lines everything up. And then you kind of just, once you've lined up, of course, I do this over and over again off camera, and it's perfectly fine, and it goes in just easily. And then I'm doing it on camera, and it's terrible. So peg that in, peg in the black parts, and then you just want to go around and make sure each of these tabs is fully tabbed in. Take this section, tab that all in. Then from here, it's very simple. So what you see with this is that there's a tab section right here, and then you see these two little tabs on top of Devastator's chest, which, by the way, I will bring up the camera once again. And then these will just tab in like so. Or the chest will tab in like so. Like, oh, come on, like that. And then what you'll see is that there are two tabs here. These will peg into Bone Crusher as well as Scavenger, respectively. But, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Studio Series 86 Commander Class 2-pack of Long Haul and Hook in their combined mode for Devastator. And I gotta say, guys, this looks really, really cool, and it's shaping up to be an incredible looking Devastator. Now, there is one elephant in the room I'd like to address real quick, and that is this section here. And sure, this is really chunky, and it doesn't look all that great, but the nice thing about this Devastator that I can tell you right now, especially in comparison to the CW one, this guy is solid. This does not want to fall apart at all. Like, you can see I'm shaking it, I'm like hammering it, and it does not want to fall apart. Nothing feels like loose or anything like that. This is the loosest thing here, but it's because it's not pegged into the arms, because the arms aren't there right now. But yeah, once we get everyone, I will be doing a full review on just Devastator himself. But overall, when it comes to how this guy is shaping up, you can tell that this guy is going to be absolutely amazing. Sure, this is the worst part, and it does suck. But I can forgive it for the fact that this guy is going to be incredibly stable. So overall, when it comes to how this looks, I mean, you can see even the detail in Devastator's head. I mean, that just looks awesome. Like, look at that. That looks so good, and the Decepticon logo, all this detail coming down here. It looks really, really good. Very cartoon accurate. I'm really excited to see Devastator as we go forward. So overall, really, really happy with what this came with. Can't really complain too much about this except this little chunk of kibble that we see on the back, essentially his backpack. So overall, really well done though so far. I hope you guys are looking forward to Devastator as much as I am. Alrighty, and finally we are at the end. And so guys, for my final and concluding thoughts on the Transformers Studio Series 86 Commander Class 2-pack of Long Haul and Hook, this is a really solid 2-pack, and it really makes me look forward to getting Devastator. I know everybody is also really excited for Devastator, despite the little issues we have with him so far, mainly in the junk in the trunk that he's got in his combined mode. But let's take a look at this 2-pack, right? So first off, as I addressed earlier, I do think this is worth a Commander class price point. You're essentially getting 2 Voyager class figures, each retailing for about 30 to 35 bucks, and then those will equal about 70 to 60 bucks, and then you add in the deluxe classes worth of parts, which I didn't actually talk about it, but even though I said I would. As you can see, the fact that they added Devastator's waist as well as his upper part of his thighs as part of the accessories rather than putting into Long Haul makes Long Haul a much better figure. The original one, like I told you, was just absolutely, it's by far the worst of the original Constructicons from CW Devastator. But taking a look at it, yes, it is worth a Commander class price point. You get a deluxe classes worth in accessories. I really do think it is worth the 90 to 100 or so dollars after shipping or whatever, if you get it in store or whatnot. And so looking at it from that perspective, yes, worth the price. Each of the individual vehicle modes look really, really solid. Sure, they have a little bit of their issues, but overall, they're nothing major to the point where they ruin the vehicle modes. They both roll really well, have very nice details in the green and the plastic quality. It's all there, and it feels really solid. Even when you're comparing them to the other Transformers, they scale very, very nicely. And then when you go into their transformations, although very simple and very, very rudimentary, they result in some really amazing-looking robot modes. Sure, Hook is a little bit more compromised than Long Haul, in my opinion, but overall, when it comes to their looks and how they feel as figures in their robot modes, they feel really, really good. The worst part about their robot modes, in my opinion, is their articulation. Sure, I totally understand with Hook's lack of a waist joint, because especially there's a joint in there, but when it comes to Long Haul, I don't get why they couldn't put a waist joint in there. And sure, their articulation isn't necessarily amazing, but it's not terrible either, and that's, in my opinion, their weakest point in their robot modes. Their transformations back are just as simple as their transformations forward, and then when you're combining them into their combined mode, sure, the attachments are a little bit frustrating, and maybe it'll take some time to get used to, as you saw in the video. But for the most part, once you get it into Devastator, man, this guy's really solid. And I'll tell you, he's not too bad to take apart either. So overall, when it comes to this pack, although it has its minor issues and everything like that, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And so out of a 10, I will give this an 8. And I would highly recommend it, especially if you're looking to complete your Devastator, you have Scrapper, you have Bone Crusher, definitely pick this up. It's going to be amazing once you get it all together, in my opinion. This is shaping up to be an incredibly cool combiner. The premier combiner, in my opinion, just due to the fact that this is the original one. It's Devastator, right? And we all love Devastator as a Transformers fandom. And so I did pick mine up on the Big Bad Toy Store, so I'll leave a link in the description to that. I'll also leave links to Amazon as well as Hasbro Pulse if you guys wish to look to those avenues to get your Commander Class 2-pack here. I definitely, you guys, wish you the best of luck in hunting IRL if you do decide to do that. I assume that this guy, since he's out in, online retailers, that he's going to be hitting store shelves relatively soon. So best of luck with hunting this guy IRL if you wish to do so. And so I think that's really it. And so I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends, and also follow me in the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. I apologize for this video being long, but I know I really wanted to take my time with it and show you guys all these facets of this very significant 2-pack. And so with that, guys, and once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video review, and I will catch you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.